Hello. Hello. Good evening, students. I welcome all students for this webinar. And we have with us the great personality and a fellow member of the institute, C.A. Kosai Goawala, who has a 37 years of experience in this field. He is a partner of Mr. G.K. T.J. and Associates. He was nominated for 3 years on Ind AS Implementation Committee of WIRC of ICAI. He was also nominated on Research Committee of WIRC of ICAI for the year 2020-21. He has conducted numerous lectures on varied topics like tax audit, IFRS, Ind AS auditing standards, ICDS, company law, GST, FEMA, peer review training program, etc. in the seminars conducted by ICI, ICSI, CMA. He was a part of the group which authored, reviewed various publications like the guidance note and internal audit of automobile industry. Given lectures on FEMA certification course and other lectures on FEMA matters. He was also part of the group which compiled 8 books published by ICAI. So over to Sir Kosai Goawala, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for a nice introduction. Thanks to Board of Studies for inviting me for this lecture. And my dear future chartered accountants, a very good evening to all of you. Let me first share the screen so that we will discuss what we are going to discuss today. Yes. Fine. So, friends, today we are going to discuss on the managing ethical dilemmas in the workplace, basically, which is emerging out of our code of ethics, which is a fundamental, principle underlying a chartered accountant. Let me share with you. Today's 1 hour lecture is basically part of our skill development, student skill development webinar, which is been organized by the Board of Studies for the benefit of our students. And our students here are lucky that the initiatives taken by this Board of Studies to educate and to develop the skills of our students, which is a very great initiative. I would like to contribute to that today by talking on this code of ethics or the managing ethical dilemmas. Now, first of all, as a chartered accountant, okay. So, of course, there is a disclaimer which says this is my personal views. It is not the view of the ICI, but of course, it has been all the details have been taken from the code of ethics, which is published by the institute, and it is my personal whatever the slides are personal views of mine. And let's understand first what is the meaning of ethics. See, when a person becomes a chartered accountant, he is, or whenever I would say not even chartered accountant, when he's studying chartered accountancy course, he is duty bound to become like a chartered accountant, to behave like a chartered accountant. So his culture, his matter of working, everything has to be like a chartered accountant. Now, what are the ingredients of a chartered accountant? First of all, let me explain you why this particular code of ethics and all these things, discipline, all this is applicable to a chartered accountant. I will give you one very simple example. You must have seen various financial statements being prepared by the management. And when you know these financial statements, which are being also published at the various levels, if you see on the right side of that financial statements, there is a signature of the managing director, the executive director, the whole-time directors, the CFO of the company secretary, all these people sign on the right side of the balance sheet. You all must have seen that. And when this paper is produced to anybody on just the signatures of these people who are all very, very high-level people of the company, it is normally the person who is the reader of this financial statement will not believe in these figures. because it's the management figures, management ka figures, hai na? It is not something which is which can be accepted. Now, this same paper will have a different value only if after a small signature on the left side of a chartered accountant, and that's the auditor of the company. The moment there is a signature of the auditor or the chartered accountant on the left side, this value of that paper that becomes very, very high. And so the people will start trusting this paper, believing in this paper, just because there is one small signature of a chartered accountant. On the right side, whatever it is, doesn't matter. The left side signature is very, very important for the people who are reading this financial statement. Now, why it is that way? Because there is a trust, there is a faith and trust reposed in an independent person called a chartered accountant. It is believed, and it is the fact that, yes, a chartered accountant will be an independent person delivering the true and fair view of that particular financial statements, which is being presented to the reader. And so he can safely rely on those financial statements. You must be aware, thousands and crores of rupees of decisions are being taken based on those financial statements, which are audited by chartered accountant. Today, there are investors outside India, there are investors in India who are investing thousands of their crores of rupees of their hard-earned money into a company just because of financial statement. It is what they get. They don't know about a company's operations. The first thing what they know is the financial statement prepared by the chartered accountant. They will only see those financial statements. Of course, they do their due diligence, but everything, the starting point is the financial statement signed, audited by the chartered accountant. So this is the kind of trust and confidence the society and the people at large are placing in chartered accountant. So how should be our conduct? That is exactly what we are going to discuss in the next 1 hour. Our conduct has to be of that becoming where people can trust us. And if we do not behave in that manner, the trust will go away. So we have to maintain and uphold the kind of confidence and trust that the society is putting in us, and our conduct, our culture, our whatever, our way of working, way of style of behaving should be such that people will continue with this trust, and they will still have more and more trust in us. And we will be the main founders and pillars of our economy in the world. I would say, not say in India only, it's the world over. And I would say at many point of time, the people have acknowledged that it is a chartered accountant who helps in nation building, economic development of a country, because we do something positive which enables the country to grow and have. And you all are future chartered accountants. You are the futures of our profession, and I want that. I'm trying to inculcate that same philosophy to you, which we have been over a period of, in my career of 38 years, on my earlier articles team, what I have been taught by my principals in my articleship time, and what the institute has, infused in us, the kind of sense of ethics, is what I want that to be, told in this next 1 hour, as to why do we have to follow these ethics, how we have to follow these ethics, and what are we supposed to do and what we are not supposed to do. That is exactly what we are going to discuss in the next 1 hour. You might have some confusions whether you should do this or you should not do this. Our institute has come out with a lot of publications. There is a book on code of ethics. There is an FAQs, which I will be discussing this during this 1 hour. So you can read that book, and that book will answer all your questions. And again, one more thing. Wherever you are in doubt, whether you can do it or not do it on the point of conservativeness. Okay, bhai, ye agar lagta hai ki aggressive hai, don't do it. Be conservative. Okay, I will give you examples as to how we have to behave and how we have to conduct ourselves in order to maintain this whatever image we have in the society about us. I will tell you, in one of the speech by the Prime Minister of India in our institute, he mentioned that the signature of a chartered accountant is more valuable than a signature of a prime minister. That is what he has mentioned. So even he has acknowledged that our signatures are valuable, and it is in your hands now, future, that you will maintain that dignity of our signature, so that people will still respect it and people will believe and trust this particular thing. Now, what is the meaning of ethics? Ethics is a very, very wide term, but let us understand what is the meaning of ethics. It cannot be combined into some objective thing. It is subjective. Moral philosophy. What is morally right or wrong, good or bad? Now, I will give you one very good example. you all have heard about Jamsetji Tata, who is one of the, founders of Tata Group, and, very much revered as far as his philosophy, his morality, his ethics is concerned. People have appreciated and in fact tried to emulate him in many ways in the business ethics, which is important. Now, I will give you an example what happened with him once. He was, advised by various, he's got so many advisors. He had so many advisors. So he was advised by his advisors that some structuring was required to be done. For that, they had given him a plan. And they mentioned that this is legally perfectly valid within the four corners of law. There was no issue as far as the law is concerned. The structure was compliant with the law. He asked one very simple question to those advisors. There were so many high-level advisors because naturally he's also of the high level. So he had also had very high-level advisors who had prepared this plan. And they said that it is a legally compliant and meeting with the four corners of law. He asked him one very serious, very important question. Yes, I agree with you that you are saying that it is legally compliant within the four corners of law. I'm asking you one very simple question. Is it ethically correct? So all those consultants started looking at each other and he says, sir, legally it is correct, but if you ask ethically, it may not be correct. Then Ramsetji said, no, then we don't do it. So this is the kind of ethics which was practiced by a businessman. And that is the name and reputation we see today of that organization, and we trust that organization because then we can blindly deal with that organization. We know that we will never be cheated. Now, that is the culture and which is being, percolated down the line. Now, I would say that ethics should be in your blood. It should be our way of life. I am not saying that it is how you apna rules and regulations they follow karo. It should be our way of life. We should be always seen to be working ethically, irrespective. It is possible sometimes because of that practice, you might not make profits, whichever you expected, or you might even incur loss, but that is short term. I will tell you, I have in my so many years of experience, I have seen, I have been ethical and I have never suffered loss. People have appreciated that. Initially, yes, there might be some setbacks. I might have lost some clients. I might have lost some money. No problem. But long term, people will come back to you because they ultimately want to go to the people who are ethically correct, because they'll be more comfortable dealing with those people who are ethically correct than the people who will make them have some fast gains immediately. But then later on, what will happen, you don't know. There are so many today also, in market, if you see, there are so many scamsters, who are operating, mutual fund scams and this scams. And I have seen so many of my colleagues and friends who have been cheated by some scamsters who are, mutual funds, they have taken monies. I'm not talking about chartered account. There are others who are doing this, and they have made monies by, luring them into very good investments. And then later on, initially they found, very good way they're making money, but then later on they lost a lot of money. So this is what it is. Ethics will always pay you well in long run. And that is what I believe in inculcating that kind of a, spirit in my thing, which will be in my blood. I don't have to think about it. It happens. Like, I'll give you an example. In the morning, every day morning when we get up, does anybody will have to tell you that by aapko brush karke hi nasta karna hai? No. It automatic. It will just your moment to get up, you will be half asleep, but your hand will straight go to your toothpaste kiya, syrup brush kiya, then only you will eat. And no, I don't think anybody here in this particular forum will ever eat breakfast without brushing their teeth. So it is in our blood. Nobody is telling us ke aisa karna hai, aisa aapko brush karna hai. Mummy was telling you maybe initially or bachche the chote. But now nobody is telling you, but you are doing it because it is in your blood. So similarly, ethics should be in your blood. Nobody should come and tell you that by aapko ye karna hai. Moral value system, that is called value systems. That is important in your life, and that is what we all need to understand. Just one small thing. Just now we had a power failure, and of course it is all working on my inverter, and my Wi-Fi, everything is on. But just in case if there is any disconnection, I will connect again through my hotspot, and so if there might be some disruption for one or few minutes, please don't panic. Okay. And that is one very important, moral value systems. Now, what is right or wrong in human behavior? That again is very important. You have to look at what is right or wrong. And do what is right. Don't do what is wrong. Do the wrong might give you some fast gains, fast money, but that is temporary because your image then is created. Ke bhai, ye to aadmi galat hai. So nobody likes to deal with them. If your person is good, irrespective, you may not make that kind of money immediately, but in long run, people will come to you, they will trust you, and that is what happened with me. People have come to me for work because it is not because of anything else, but because of ethics. Because ye aadmi ko hum bharosa kar sakte hain. That is the most important critical component as to why person will come to you. And in a chartered accountant situation, generally the client will be there for long term. It is never there for short term. It is always long term. The reason is that only it is the trust and the confidence which they have in the chartered accountant. In that ethics is the basic foundation, the honesty, the integrity, the trust. All these are foundations of our chartered accountant, which we can say. The knowledge is, yes, knowledge is required, but that can be always gained. Ethics cannot be gained. Ethics is built into it. It is like a character. If character is there, see, again, I will tell you one very interesting thing. It takes huge amount of long period of time to develop that credibility in somebody will start believing you, and credibility, it will take long time to establish that, but it will take 1 minute or one wrong statement to spoil that entire thing. You all know it. I don't want to tell you. Somebody recently, in not very far future, somebody did a lot of efforts to build up a huge image and credibility. One wrong statement somewhere spoiled the entire image and and that person got into a lot of trouble. You all know it. I don't want to name it because of the reasons. And so that is what it is. So it is your credibility which takes a lot of time to build up, and that is what is important. And you have to maintain it. Again, to maintain credibility is again very important. Belief that is morally correct or acceptable. That is what I told you, what Jamsetji Tata said. If it is ethically correct, morally correct, then only I want to do it. Even though it might mean that it might be incurring some losses for this, or I may not get some benefit out of this. No problem. But I should not be seen to do something which is ethically not correct. Because that will impact, that will remain as his character, that will remain in the image, and people will, you might gain something here, fine, but you don't know what you have lost. You will never know, because people, when they will look at you, ye aadmi ko bharosa nahi kar sakta, khata. Then what you are losing out because of that, you never know. You cannot even quantify. But what you are quantifying is what you are gaining, but you are not able to quantify the number of times that you have lost. And that is because of being unethical. But if you are ethical, the benefits will come. You may not even know that this benefit is coming because of being ethical. You will never even know, but it is there. It is because of that. Now, accountability towards self-conscience. Yeah, see, you may feel that ये तो legally देखो मैं act में पढ़ रहा हूँ, ये सब हो सकता है. See, in the act, there are so many provisions where there can be some lacunas because of which you can do a structuring without paying any tax and avoiding the tax, and then do a proper structuring and say, yes, this is a good structure and I'm doing it. But we internally know that what is your ultimate aim is to avoid tax. See, there is something like evasion of tax and avoidance of tax. You have evaded a tax and you know that you have done it by way of this structuring. So your self-conscience is biting you, and that is not correct. And when that has happened, you should not undertake that activity. Cost of independence. Now, we've got some few slides on the independence. This is the most important aspect, independence. As a chartered accountant, when we are signing any financial statement, that state of independence is important. Independence has got various meanings, various permutations. I will explain you in detail. How do you say that you are independent? Just by having an independent office and being a practicing chartered accountant doesn't mean you are independent. Suppose we know that employee is not independent because he's under a boss. A boss will tell him do this, he will have to do this. But when it is a practicing chartered accountant, he's supposed to be independent. Now, how do you say that he's an independent? There are criteria for being, showing that yes, he is an independent person. I will explain you in detail. There are a few slides which will come to that. Now, in case of, whether you are an ethical or not ethical, there are no gray areas in this. There are no gray areas. There is either switch on or switch off. Either you are ethical or you are not ethical. There is nothing like थोड़ा बहुत ethical है, थोड़ा बहुत not ethical है, ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता. If you are a slight, even 1% non-ethical, you are non-ethical, irrespective of how many 99% you might be ethical. But if you have been 1% non-ethical, you cannot be termed yourself as mostly ethical. No, there is no such term as that. Either you are ethical or not ethical. That is exactly what our profession wants you to be. You have to be ethical, not just most of it ethical. No, that there is nothing like most of it ethical. Ensure credibility of our profession. As I told you, it is in your hands. See, today I will tell you what happens. Your conduct. Suppose somebody behaves in an unethical way. Society is observing. There is one chartered accountant or one person has behaved non-ethically. That same impression is carried for the entire profession. They will not say that Mr. X is unethical. No, they will say all chartered accountants are not ethical. That is how the people will make it a generalized statement, and they'll classify one person's action as the action of the entire community, as the community of chartered accountants, which is wrong. But that is what is happening. So we have to behave in such a way that we don't spoil the name of our community, of our profession, so that a profession has given us so much. Today we have got so much of respect. Today, wherever we go, we say we are a chartered accountant. People look at us, oh, with respect. Yeah, he is the person who can trust. We have been appointed as an arbitrator. We have been appointed to settle issues between the two people disputing. They said, okay, bhai, ye aadmi ke paas jao, ye aadmi barabar, he will do justice. He will talk fair and unbiased. If there is another person, somebody else might be biased. So there might be some monetary condition, but no, here he will be unbiased, he will talk fair, and he will give a correct decision based on your thing. So this is how the trust and faith is there in our profession, and that we have to maintain. And this is the expectations from our society. Regulators are the MCA, Income Tax Department, GST Department. They are expecting us to behave in that manner where we achieve that ethical standards. And users, particularly of our financial statement, when they believe in our financial statement, when we are signing a financial statement, that is what I told you. Now let us look at our report, audit report, which we signed as an auditor. How the wordings are made. SS 700. Now you must be aware SS 700 has been modified and it has been brought in accordance with the international standards. And the international standard wordings are like this. I will read out the first paragraph of basis of opinion. This says we are independent of the company. This is very important. You're making a statement that we are independent of a company. We are not together. I mean, company and we are not hand in glove. No, that is what it is. We are independent. We are in a position to give our unbiased view of the company's financials. We are not biased towards any thing. And we know nobody has influenced us our view. That is what it is. We are independent of the company in accordance with the code of ethics. Code of ethics is defining what is independence. I'm going to come to that. What is independence? Issued by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, together with ethical requirement. Again, you see the wording ethical requirement. That again is very primary for our independence and our financial statements that are relevant to our audit of the financial statements under the provisions of the Act as a Companies Act and rules thereunder. And we have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with these requirements and the code of ethics. So here we are making a clear-cut statement. Earlier, this statement was not there in the audit report, which was being signed several years back. But now we are making a blatant statement. We are required to make a statement. Earlier, it was assumed that yes, you are ethical and you are. But now, because of so many frauds and all this thing happening, the members or the users want us to make a statement. Yes, you are ethical. You are making that statement. Tomorrow, if it is found that you are unethical, this statement will be against you because you have made a wrong statement in the audit report and you have made a wrong assertion in the audit report that you were not ethical. So our role is, our first and foremost important aspect is that to be ethical in accordance with these requirements and code of ethics. Now, what are the common lapses that we have observed? See, over a period of 38 years, I have seen the several balance sheets of various companies or various other chartered accountants. I'm also part of some group which we are evaluating balance sheets of other companies. Now I will tell you, there is something called good faith. Now, good faith is very bad. In chartered accountancy, there is nothing like good faith. I will give you an example of good faith. Now, we are all aware that when there is a company's balance sheet, two directors have to first sign, and then only the chartered accountant will have to sign. The reason is the ownership responsibility of the financial statement is on the management and not on the auditor. Auditor is not the preparer of this financial statement. So the first and foremost, the signatures on the financial statement should be of the directors. But sometimes क्या होता है, in exigency, इसके बाद urgency है और एक director available नहीं है, so the one director will come with a signature of his signature and says, you please sign, I will take his signature, the second signature I will take. Now, when one such case, one chartered accountant, in good faith, one director, he has been dealing with him since so many years. He came to him, by one chartered account, or other director is not well or something, he is out of station or something, and I need this financial statement urgently. Please sign this. I am signing this. You sign this. I will take his signature in the evening. So the chartered accountant in good faith, now it is again good faith, he took signature of that, he signed that financial statement and gave it to him on the one signature of director. Now, later on, that other director filed a complaint in the institute against this member, saying that you have signed this financial statement without my signature, without the two signatures, which is mandatory. And institute definitely, punished him, and the disciplinary actions were initiated against him. That good faith went against him. Now, he could have said, no, sir, please get his signature. Let it be, no problem. If it is a delay, no problem. 1 day delay. No. So what? Or okay, I will come with you. You go, let us go to him. Let us take his signature. I will sign later. That is possible, but do not, assume he will get it signed. Good faith. I will sign. He will get it done. No, you never know what will happen. You never know what is the other person's intention. You never know. We are not God. So better exercise caution. Let me get its signature. I will sign. Simple. Having to say no, that is my another point. Lack of communication. Can't say no. No, that is very important. You should be having the right or the ability to say no. Sir, no, sir, I can't. My signature has got a value. Let that process be happen. Then only I will sign. I'll give you one more example. When we talk about this documentation, sometimes, we get carried away and the documentation is still pending, and we sometimes some chartered account, somebody would sign off, urgency hai. There was one issue in one company where we wanted a valuation report of some particular aspect for the purpose of working out the impairment of that asset. And the management was in a rush. I have to consolidate this balance sheet with my financial statement. My due date is there. So I please give me the signature. I will get you the valuation later. Nothing doing. I want the valuation tomorrow or whenever you get. I will sign after that. I got the valuation. Then immediately I signed off and gave it. After almost about few years, 5 to 6 years, I was on a holiday on a cruise, and I get a call from that another shareholder who had taken over that company, that the banks had raised a query that this particular asset, they wanted to know the valuation part. So I was on a holiday, but I knew that my documentation is perfect. I called up my office. I said, this particular file, this particular flap, this particular folder, please check. There will be a document. Just take a copy and give that document to the client, and the matter was resolved. Now, suppose if I had a good faith, I had signed off, and then I would never have got this audit valuation report. I had to be after them. At least I am lucky. I got my thing, whatever I wanted, and it saved me. So this is what it is. You never know what happens. Weak documentation. That is what I'm coming to. Work should not only be done, but it should be seen that it is done. That is what it is. Our disciplinary committee also is that way. That they look at the files. You may go and talk any amount of lecture. Maine ye kiya, kaam ye kiya. But if your file is not proper, if your documentation is not proper, then you will be in a problem. Today, I was going through the certain statistics of ethics related cases, which is handled by the disciplinary committee. 241 cases in 1 year against a member on the ethical grounds itself. Faintest of ink is stronger than strongest of memory. What is written is read. Don't keep it in memory. You must have the documentation. Lack of proactiveness, lack of communication skills, can't say no. That is what I explained you. Obsession with tax consideration. Generally, the clients will have a, always, trying to say that हमको tax बचा के दो. That is not our consideration. When we are doing a financial statement, it should be true and fair, not for the purpose of tax के भाई tax बचाना है तो कैसे financial. No, that is not our consideration. That is not our objective. Our objective should be the financial statement should be free from any misstatement, because this will be used by so many investors, users, and it cannot be something which is only for the tax purposes. So it should not be keeping mind that aspect and doing it. Should be for the true and fair. That is important. You should have the ability to say no, I will not do anything which is wrong or ethically not correct. Now, what to read for all this is about updated Chartered Accountant Act, updated regulations, ICI publication on Code of Ethics, I told you. Then there is an FAQs published by ICI. See, our institute has come out with a lot of publications and is still coming out with a lot of publications. For all the topics, like today, FEMA, there are a lot of publications on various topics. There are on internal audits, guidelines, guidance notes. All these are being continuously, there are groups being formed. And I am also part of several groups where we keep on writing books for the institute on various topics, and that is what is our development aspect of our members. That is what is required. Manual for members, ICI website for various pronouncements, and there is an ESB website, Ethical Plus, handy brochure is issued by ESB, Ethical Standard Board. That is the ESB. Now, important points to remember: misconduct proceeding it can be initiated by on receiving a complaint or information from any source. You are a student of chartered accountants. You are doing so much of efforts to pass your exams. One small error and a complaint, and then the entire effort can go waste. So what is the point? Why you want to do that? You have struggled to come up to that level. We have passed your exams. You have been eligible now to become a member of the institute and continue the noble profession. So you maintain this ethics. That will help you in all your life. Suo motu action can also be taken by counsel if they find some wrong evidence against you. Complainant standing is not relevant. Some of the complainant may be a thief, or he may be a scamster or murderer. It doesn't matter. You have made a mistake. That is important. Whoever has complained is not relevant. And suppose even withdrawal of complaint is permissible, but sometimes it may happen that even the other person wants to withdraw the complaint. The institute may say, no, I will continue with the matter. I will explain. I'll give you one very important example. Now, what had happened is there was a partnership formed between a husband and wife. And generally, the chartered accountant auditing will think that it is a family-owned company, so kuch issue nahi hai. There are no outside partners. And the husband was running the entire business. The wife was only a nominal partner, just for having two partners. She was becoming a partner. So the husband was running the entire show. The auditor was dealing with the husband, and the wife was never in the picture. Suddenly one day, there was a fight between husband and wife. Now, when that fight happened, then the wife was also advised by some legal counsel or some lawyer that the first attack came on the chartered accountant, the auditor. So the husband and the wife, the lawyer filed a complaint. The wife filed a complaint with the institute. No, I am not happy with this financial statement, and it is against my interest. The institute took up this complaint and started the proceeding. Now, in the meantime, husband and wife, they patched up. So now the dispute was solved. And now they said, now I want to withdraw the complaint. No. Institute said nothing doing, no withdrawal. The complaint will go on because we have now come across, yes, this chartered accountant has not done his duty properly, and there is certain mistakes and certain deviations. So now we will take it up on suo motu. So now that proceedings went on. So in spite of the complaint being withdrawn, the proceedings started. So it is not that the withdrawal of complaint is important, but it is the error. If that is the error, then there is a problem. Council has a jurisdiction over the individual member and not over the firms. So it can only sue the individual members, and it can provide disciplinary action on the disciplinary members.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, Vice Chairman, sir, has joined this session.
Okay.
Please, he will address.
Yeah. Okay, I'll hold on.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yes, good evening, sir.
Parjeet Singh, sir. Students will be benefiting from your words of wisdom. Sir Sanjeev Sanghi ji, Vice Chairman, sir, will be addressing students, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Board of Studies, and thank you, Kushalji, for giving a wonderful deliberation. I was just listening a few lines, and I'll be happy to listen more. But when you're talking about ethics and value system, I think that is the key for going forward for all the students. That's the way forward, because if we have enough knowledge, enough skills, but we don't have value value system, then there is no reason to go up the journey. And ethics, that's the reason why Institute of Chartered Accountants of India has taken two important aspects. One is ethics and the other thing is technology. And I think this topic is really apt for students to understand, the value of ethics, the value of, having a disciplined and a check to say, hey, can I do this? Can I do not? So these are something which are very, very relevant and important. And let me tell you to all the students, today I'm at Bhubaneswar, and there was a very good program going on called Skill Up and Scale Up, organized by Bhubaneswar branch, and actually under the committee Professional Skills Enrichment. Now, the entire discussion was revolving around three important factors: that how we as chartered accountant, as students, transform ourselves from basically a person who is doing ledgers to a global leadership. And that is the need of the hour today, that how we can skill up, how we can actually improve or move up the value chain and actually go beyond, take that extra mile. Instead of just doing what we are told to do, how we are actually doing something which we have never been told to do. That should come within. That should be our thought process, because the way the world is moving forward, the way we have 3 million accountants in the world and we are actually dominating them, and our vision is to be the accountant for the entire world. I think we have to have a blend of knowledge, we have to have a blend of skills, we have to have a blend of experience, and most importantly, the ethics and the value system. And I would like to thank once again Kushalji for doing this wonderful job of actually mentoring and motivating and guiding the students towards this path, because somehow, some way, we are losing on this, and this is actually the most important pillar behind every success. So without taking any much time, sir, I request you to please take this forward. And once again, student, let me tell you that this 100 is a very important initiative taken by Board of Studies Operation, and I want to thank the entire office for doing this wonderful job. So this 100 webinars is continuous, and the entire effort has been taken by Board of Studies office to make sure that we don't fail on each and every webinar, and we do it regularly so that students get that one idea, that one initiative, so that they can take it forward and can shape their career going forward. So once again, my thanks to the speaker as well as the entire office for making this happen. And to the student, make sure that you go back and tell other students about this initiative so that together we can achieve a bigger goal. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for your kind words. Yes, sir. So, taking it forward, as sir has rightly mentioned, that this is the system virtues which we all have to inculcate at the grassroots level. And as if, I had mentioned to you that it should be in our blood, and we should practice it. See, we say that we are chartered accountants. We are only when we are in our office from 10 to 6 or 7 or whatever time we are in our office. We are a chartered accountant. We are at home. We are our family. I say no. We are 24/7. We are chartered accountants, because our conduct has to be, whether it is a family, whether it is with the friends, whether it is with the society at large, or whether it is with the clients in the office, with our staff, with our employees. The conduct has to be of that level. It is becoming, worthy of becoming a chartered accountant. So that is what we have to maintain. So that is what we always practice and profess. Now I'll give you one very simple example. Let's say you have got two people coming to you. One person who well dressed, speaks politely, speaks nicely, talks sense, and the other one talks in a very arrogant way and in a very unpolished language, unparliamentary language, not dressed in the way it should be, and both of them give you certain financial statements and say, okay, you look at this financial statement. Whom are you going to believe? Your immediate human psychology will tell you should believe on the person who is of that composure, who you can trust. There is other side where you can see that you cannot trust that person. He is not that person whom we can, rely on. So this is what it is. Your composure, how you dress, how you, behave with the society at large, how you speak. That is very, very important. So as I told you, it takes huge number of years to build up a credibility, and just one small statement which will spoil your entire credibility of so many years. So this again, now coming back to those important points to remember, compensation by respondent does not undo the misconduct. Suppose, for example, there is a misconduct, there is something which you have done wrong, and then you say, okay, you offer, okay, there is a loss to you, I will pay you this. But that does not mean that you will be pardoned. Just because you got money to pay off that person and say, okay, I will compensate you for your loss. No, that is not correct. Because society trusted you. Here in this case, you are compensating because there is a complaint. There might be so many situations where they have not complained. They don't even know, but you have made a mistake. So your conduct is wrong. So that conduct has to be corrected. That is what it is. So you are guilty. That is what the institute will look at. So what is the way forward? Now, how the institute has come out with this code of ethics, how they have modified this code of ethics, quickly let us look into it. ICI being a member of International Federation of Accountants, that is IFAC, and has considered the ethics standard issued by International Ethics Standard Board of Accountants. So it is this ISBA who has, framed that code of ethics for us, and this is modified. In 2009, initially we have gone by the whatever was 2005 edition of the ISBA. Then now they have modified in 2018. So we ourselves, the institute has ourselves modified in January 19 based on this new ISBA code of ethics. Now we will have some time constraints because 15 minutes are pending. I will try to rush it a little more. Maybe this PPT, if the BOS thinks appropriate, it can circulate to all the students. I have no issues on that. Now, this is a book, Code of Ethics, which we can read, revised 2019. Now, these are the fundamental principles that we are supposed to follow. It's our foundation stone. Integrity, the honesty, that is important. That is a part of our ethics, where we have straightforwardness and honest approach. Fair dealing. It is not only in your chartered accountancy, not only just signing the financial statement, but even conducting any financial transactions with anybody. Suppose you are buying a property, you are doing some sales purchase with anybody else. You should also be of the same level. You should be fair in terms of your dealing. Don't cheat anybody. Don't do anything which is dishonest. Don't do anything which is incorrect, which is illegal, so that your image as a chartered accountant is maintained. That is what it is. That is what it requires. Don't give any false or misleading information. Give the correct information. Even if that giving that correct information might cost you something, fine, it is okay, but give it correctly. Disassociate with the above information once known. Once you know that it is wrong information, immediately disassociate. No, I'm not party to this. I'm not aware about it. Objectivity. We are all objective in our profession. That is what it is. Not to compromise professional or business judgment. Suppose if you know that this is right, and if somebody is trying to make you agree to something wrong, be straightforward and say, no, we cannot do this. We are not going to accept. So that is your uprightness, and that is what is required from a chartered accountant. Professional competence and due care. Yes, you should also be knowledgeable. You should have that knowledge which is expected as a chartered accountant. So when you are talking to somebody, when person is speaking to you, you should know that you are reflecting something which is our profession's knowledge bank, which is being taught to you in your examination. Plus, you have to be a student throughout your life. I am a student till today. There is so much of knowledge. You cannot fathom the entire knowledge. The knowledge is like an ocean, and you only know what you know is only a few drops of the ocean. So you have to continuously learn. Even I am continuously learning at my age of 62. I cannot say that I know everything. Nobody knows everything. You have to continuously update yourself. Confidentiality. This is very interesting and very important. Your main value system is confidentiality. Don't start talking about the clients to anybody else, so that you get a lot of knowledge and information which is a confidential knowledge of a client. And this, I will give you one very practical example of one situation which happened with one of my friends. Now, one of my friends was handling a group of clients, where there is a father and some daughter and two daughters. They were their clients, and his wife. So there were 4 people were his clients, and the father used to give all the details to this chartered accountant to make that income tax return every time. And this chartered accountant used to go to this father for getting the approvals before filing the return of even their wife, the daughters, everything. And the father used to interact. Later on, there was some dispute in the family. Now, this daughter must have found that something is wrong. Then this chartered accountant, not knowing this dispute in the family, continued to give the papers to this father. Then the daughter filed a case against the chartered accountant. How could you give my income tax return to my father? This is something which happened. And I mean, chartered accountant was totally taken aback. I mean, I never knew that you were in picture and I had to give you this. But I was so far all along dealing with your father, so I has to give you to your father. So this is the level of confidentiality this is expected. Now the daughter says, no, it is my income tax return. How can you share with my father? So something like that happened. And then matter went to the court and all that. So we have to, if we are dealing with somebody, you should not share their details with anybody else without their consent. You can take their consent and then do it, no problem. But with this confidentiality is very important. In our office, we have got systems in place. We have got a server in our cabin, our partner's cabin. It is not outside. What is there outside is only dump nodes. They can own our team can only work on them on the model, on the monitor, and the entire data is saved on the server. Even the internet, which is there, the emails, which is sent in a separate server. It is not mixed with the main server because by mistake or by accident, sometimes the files can get transferred. Because of viruses also it can happen. Files can go to any other person. We can't afford. We have got clients who are competing in each other. We don't take file of one person when we meet. Suppose if you have to meet one client and another client together after some time, then we don't take the file of the first client to the other client's office also. We keep it in the car because by mistake, if you forget the file, then there is a problem. So that level of confidentiality we discuss, we maintain. Sometimes the client tries to ask information about the other client. He says, no, sorry, we cannot give you any information. That is fine. So he also will like it because tomorrow, otherwise his information also will give it to somebody else. So that confidentiality is very, very important. Professional behavior. Now, this is very important. As I told you, we are chartered accountants 24/7. Now, we are okay. We are very well dressed, very polite, everything in the office. We talk to the client very nicely. And when we come on the road, many times it has happened. You must have seen on the road when you are traveling, some accident has happened or somebody has crashed the car or something. Then the persons will come out of the car, then they start fighting, they start abusing each other. There'll be loud voice and noises and a lot of such things are going on. As a chartered accountant, you should not indulge in that. We have to maintain that decorum, the behavior as a chartered accountant. We should not, get into the feet of the moment and say, okay, we can talk anything on the road and behave something like any other person. No, we have to maintain. Yes, you follow the law. I'm not saying you don't follow the law. Whatever is the law, you apply. If you have to be taken to the police, you take the police. Whatever, go as per the law. Don't take law in your hands. Don't start abusing. Don't use wrong language because that will be reflecting a chartered accountant, and that is not right because it will impact the entire profession, the community, and we have to maintain that self-restraint that we can't get into this. Don't get into those kind of street brawls. Threats that is to be avoided. Self-interest threat, self-review threat, advocacy threat, familiarity threat, intimidation threat. These are all the threats of independence. Now let me take you to the independence we were talking about. See, we say that we are independent because we are a practicing chartered accountant. Now I'll give you one very clear example. Suppose there is one CA office where there are about 100 clients with the CA has got it. And if you see his fee structure, suppose if he is earning a fee of in a year about, let's say, 1 crore rupees. I'm giving an example. 1 crore rupees is his fee. And out of that 1 crore rupees, 60 lakhs is coming from one group of clients. One group, there'll be so many entities and so many individuals and all that. One group, because decision maker is one. So there is one group which is contributing 60% of his fee. And the remaining 999 clients are giving 40% of the fee. Now just imagine. Tomorrow he is to audit this account of this particular client or group which is giving 60% fees. And then there are certain irregularities, certain problems, certain misstatements. And now he is pointing it out to the client saying, look, either you rectify this misstatement or I will have to qualify. The client says, neither I am going to rectify this misstatement, nor you are going to qualify. Now, the chartered accountant, we should have a right to say, no, sir, we are not going to sign off this without qualification, or we will not sign, or we will resign. Now, the point is, just imagine your 60% fees is coming from this one client, and you know that your decision of saying no means that this client is going to go. He will decide, okay, no, next year, this year also and next year also, I will not going to give you the audit. And your entire 60% fees are going to go out. Now you have got expenditure, you have got staff, you have got office, you have got infrastructure, you have your own family to maintain. How are you going to get impacted? You are going to get impacted financially. So your independence is a question mark. Whether you will be in a position to say no because of your fee structure of 60% being coming from one client. So that is the reason our institute says, no, you should have a broad-based clientele fees. Don't have a one pocket where you are getting most of your fees. That otherwise your independence is lost. So for that, there are certain criteria given that if there are PIE, that PIE is a public interest entity. If there are public interest entity like listed entities or some large entities or got bank borrowings and all those kind of things, then the fees should not be more than 20% of the entire fees. And if there are others, should not be more than 40%. So this is what the institute has specified to say that, yes, you are independent. And if you are not independent, then there are other things to be looked into. Self-interest rates, again, is a very interesting thing. If you have invested into something, you have got an interest in that organization. You are buying shares of that company which you are auditing. Not correct, because then you have got a self-interest, self-review trade. You have yourself done some work in the earlier period for the client where you yourself have to give opinion on that. Not allowed. So that is a self-review trade. You cannot do it. It is causing you independence issue or your ability to be unbiased. That is what it is. Self-review. You have given a valuation report. You have given an opinion. Now you are auditing, and based on the financial statements are prepared based on your opinion, your valuation, and now you yourself are auditing. How is it possible? That's the reason our institute says you can't be an accountant for an auditor, because if you are accountant and you yourself audit, how can you do a self-review of your work? You cannot be. So that is the reason it is prohibited. Certain activities are prohibited. Advocacy treats, like same thing I told you. You're given some opinion, given an advocacy, and then you yourself are reviewing that as a part of your audit, and you are relying on that. That is not correct, not allowed. Familiarity treat. You are knowing these clients in so many years. So you feel you become complacent. Arey yaar, theek hai na. Abhi to I know this client in and out. We cannot do anything wrong. So you will not verify the way you should verify, and the client knowingly very well कि भाई ये तो एकदम अपना पहचान का है, कोई कुछ करेगा नहीं. So he may make a mistake. But that is the reason that rotation of audit is applicable. Not only rotation of the auditors, but internally also between the team, you should have a rotation of the staff, so that there is always a new thinking, new aspects are thought about when you are doing this audit, and the new points come out. Intimidation fee, the same thing. The statutory cannot be internal auditor. So, if you are internal auditor and statutory the board, then your roles and responsibilities are getting mixed up. Financial advisor and independence applies to each of the partner of the firm. Okay. So these are the major changes which I have already explained, and this is covered under the new Code of Ethics 2019 independence requirement, which I already explained to you. Independent sections, the international independent standards have been mentioned. Should to shall matlab compulsory. Should was slightly okay, hona chahiye. So shall is something which says that you have to do it irrespective. So that is the thing. So these are where domestic provisions stricter than what the international standards are providing. So our institute is much more stricter, and that is what it is. We wanted to maintain a higher level of standards in our this. Then okay, we will quickly move to the FAQs, because now we have got little less time in terms of tax planning, taxation service. We should have the audit team which is there, and the tax team should be different. It cannot be mixed up, because then if you have the same audit team preparing the computation and then provision of tax is made by the same team, then it is not correct. It should be evaluated by a different team. These are all what we have already discussed. So I don't know. Can a chartered accountant provide portfolio management scheme as a part of CA practice? The answer is no. Okay. Can a chartered accountant in practice pay to a person any share, commission, or brokerage in fees or profits to his professional business? It can pay to any other chartered accountant, not to a non-chartered accountant. That is the requirement. Okay. Can a practicing chartered accountant secure any professional business service of a person who is not his employee or a partner, no, you cannot do that. Another member in practice can respond to tenders, advertisement. Some amount of tenders, advertisement, circulars, the institute is allowed, but there are certain conditions. If they are meeting the condition, yes, otherwise no. Can a member in practice indicate in a book or article that is associated with any firm? No. Even in my books, so I've written so many books for the institute. Nowhere my firm name appears. It is my name only appears. CA Goa wala, because you cannot do an advertisement. It amounts to an advertisement, indirect advertisement. So what is not permissible directly cannot be done indirectly. If a member has passed any additional course of ICA, how many in your, sometimes in your visiting card, there are so many things. The certification course of FEMA, no, you can't do that. There are only some permitted things which you can write about visa or whatever, that only you can write. You cannot write all your certifications and all that thing you cannot write. So there are specified permitted designation which you can write, otherwise you can't write. Is there any ceiling in number of tax audit? Yes, there is a ceiling of 60 for each tax audit. Now, whether that 60 that applies to one partner or to all the partners put together, yes, it can be to all the partners put together. That means I'll give an example. If there are 10 partners in a firm and there are 60 is the limit, 600 tax audits can be done by the firm. Now, it can be possible that out of 10, one partner can do all 600 audits. That is okay. But maximum number of audits that firm can do is 600 because there are 10 partners. These are all the. Can a member as a tax auditor act as an internal auditor of an entity? No, it cannot be done. Can a concurrent auditor of bank also undertake the assignment of quarterly review of the bank? No, answer is no. Can a member in practice accept appointment of statutory auditor for the society if their immediate family members are the honorary position of managing committee? No, because then there is a conflict of interest. Can a CA register on Udyog? Yes, now it is allowed. You can be registered on Udyog, Aadhaar, MSME. Okay, that is allowed. Can a chartered accountant practice serving as a director simpliciter? Yes, now you can be a director simpliciter. He cannot sign any ROC forms for the company. He can be only a signet as a director of the company, only to attend a board meeting. He cannot take up any remuneration, neither he cannot take up any professional fees or anything from that company. He cannot take any remuneration. So it is only a pure director on the board of directors. He cannot be a whole-time or an employed director of the company. Hold a credit card from a bank, he is subject to the limits that he has to pay on those due date. He cannot be indebted to that bank. So he has to pay on the due date. Can a chartered accountant practice be an equity research advisor? No. He can be equity research advisor provided he cannot publish retail report. That is the condition. Can a chartered accountant practice accept audit assignment for bank if they have taken loan against fixed deposit held in that bank? No, it is not allowed. Why it is not allowed? The reason is that it will be biased. Suppose if he has taken a loan from a bank and then he's the auditor of that bank, tomorrow, he will be, the manager will tell him, "Arey bhai, aap sambhal lo na yaar, aap bhi to idhar, you are also one of the lender borrowers." Okay, now I think the time is over, so I will quickly complete this. And I would like to end with one small advice to all of our very interesting thing, that we have to maintain the quality of our profession, what is expected, quality of our work, and that ethics, integrity, quality are the foundation stone of our profession, and that is what will give us the long-term advantage as a chartered accountant and uphold the name of chartered accountant in long term. That is what I would request all our students who are future chartered accountants to maintain and ensure that we can uphold our head, and we can hold our head high and walk in the society, and the society can continue this respect which is being given to us. So I would like to thank all the students and the BOS once again for this opportunity. If there are any questions, there are so many slides and so many, but because of time constraints, I will not be able to take it up. So if there are any questions, if you have, I can address those questions.
Hello. One question, I think it will be, when the discussing office matters on social media is ethical, or what limitations are?
No, I think it will not be ethical, because there will be some kind of situations where you will be discussing about some client work, ethics, type of work. I would say it should refrain from this any office-related discussion on any social media or personal level, because then your confidentiality is breached. That is what I feel, and we don't encourage in our office. We don't encourage any such thing. And we have, in fact, there are certain restrictions. We have once a person joins our office, there is an SOP which he has to go through, and he has to sign that paper. Yes, I will maintain this.
A question from the students, please. Thank you. Thank you very
Yes,
much,
sir.
sir.
Thank
So,
you very much, sir.
we think that students all are benefiting from your very good lecture and various knowledge regarding chartered accountants regulation cover all aspects all in this regard. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving opportunity.